Okay, in this video I'll demonstrate how to use a 3D object. In this case it's an iMac. Put a drop zone. This is all going to be done in Motion, using Motion. And putting a drop zone on the face of an iMac and use it as a generator in Final Cut Pro. Anyway, it's a very valuable learning lesson here. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to show you all the files I used to make this how-to video. I first went to Sketchfab, clicked on this. I went to Downloads right here, clicked on that. I downloaded this GLTF folder, and I also downloaded the 3D object. Not going to use it, but downloaded it anyway. Okay, let's get out of here. The next thing I used was Blender, and this is their home page right here. And a drop-down window, and depending on which version of hardware you have, that's the version you use. I use the Apple Silicon. Okay, let's get out of here. You can also get it from Apple Developer. I'm not a member, but I did sign in with my regular Apple ID. I'll show you what I did. I got to this page here and had my email address on there, so I just entered in my regular Apple account password. And there's Reality Converter. I just went down here and I went ahead and downloaded it and installed it. Okay, let's get out of here. I went ahead and I put this Reality Converter DMG file in my Google Drive, and anybody can download it from here. Just click on download, and this is a little warning that tells you this is a executable file and they weren't able to scan it. Anyway, I downloaded it here. All right, let's get out of here. Quit Safari. Okay, the last thing I did was I put all the files I used to make this video, this how-to tutorial, into one folder, and I put it on Google Drive, and it's right here. If you want to download it, you go to Drop Zone Lessons, right-click it, hit download. Now they have to zip it, and there is an executable file in there, so that's going to take a while. So let me pause it. Okay, it is downloaded, so let's just quit Safari. We don't need that. And here's the file we just downloaded, and that's this. And it actually does have all the files I used, including this iMac that has the scene.gltf in it. And it also has a Reality Converter. Okay, that's about it for this. Okay, I just quickly wanted to show you what the problem with the iMac from Sketchfab is. I've linked and I've aligned it. Now if I go to see the problem, that drop zone will not align to that face. You can't change it because you have to use a line, and it goes to the original anchor points of the object itself, and it just won't work. Sorry. We'll have to do it. You'll have to alter that in Sketchfab. Okay, we want to convert the file we downloaded from Sketchfab, loaded into Blender, and fixed it so we could use it in Motion. First thing we need to do is open up Blender. Just click anywhere. Delete this. Delete. Okay, we want to go up to File here. We want to go to what's called Import. And we want to go to GLTF 2.0. Click on that. I've still got it in Downloads, so I'll highlight Downloads. And it's in the iMac. There it is. Highlight it. And then import it. Very small. That's what happens when you save a GLTF. Anyway, let's go to the scale here. Click it on. Make sure it's blue. And we'll scale this up. I'll scale it up quite a bit. Alright, that's enough. Okay, now that we've scaled it up, we want to zoom it back down. And here's your zoom icon. Just sort of keep your little cursor there and move it. Okay, right there. That's good. Where it says Y, click on it again, click on it again, click on it again. Let's go here to this viewpoint shading and click on that. Let's zoom it up again. Let's move it down so we can see it. Alright, the first thing we want to do is we want to go to our Move tool here, okay? Move tool. And I think that's a green arrow, I don't know. Just drag it so it's on the other side of this blue line right here. And what we want to do is go to our, this is our rotate tool here. Make sure that's highlighted. And we want to rotate it so we're parallel, or the face of this is parallel with this blue line. So I'll just move it until it's parallel. Whoop. Not easy. Maybe there's an easier way. I'm not too familiar with Blender. Okay, it looks pretty parallel. Let's go back to the Move tool here. And on this arrow, the green arrow, move it until it's touching. Alright, that's good. Let's scale it back down. Let's move it up. Okay, what I want to do now is this cursor here, that's what they call it, a cursor. I want it to be approximately in the middle of this screen here. So we're still on our Move tool. So now I'm going to move it down. I'm going to move this object down until that cursor is about in the middle. That looks, it doesn't have to be exact. That's right there. Okay, next thing I want to do is we want to export it. Click on File, Export, and we want to go to the same GLTF 2.0 and export. Click on that. I want to make sure that this is on Embedded GLTF. Just click on that, and I want to export it to Motion Projects, and I'm going to name it Edited iMac. Hit enter. Now we can go ahead and export it. Alright, it is exported. Okay, here it is in Motion Projects, Edited iMac GLTF, and we'll need that for Reality Converter. I'll be right back. Okay, we've got our edited iMac.gltf, and that will not work in Motion. We need to convert it to a file that will. And we'll do that with a reality converter right there. What we need to do is just drag our edited iMac.gltf into reality converter. There it is. There are a few adjustments you can make. They've got all these. I opted for this one down here. I think so. I think I turned this down a little bit. Anyway, the next thing you want to do is you want to go to File, Export right here. And I'm going to take it back to here. Sandbox and Motion Projects. And Edited iMac, that's fine with me, and we'll save it. Okay, we're done with this. And there's our edited iMac. And I think if you hit the space bar, you get a preview. Preview's not working. But you can actually open it with preview. There it is. Okay, enough of that. All right, we've got our file. We'll be ready to go in Motion here in a minute. Okay, I think we're ready to try out our edited iMac. Anyway, we're in Motion. We're at 4K, 29.37. Okay, let's go ahead and load it in. And this is what we made from our reality converter, and I'll just swipe it up here. Yeah, there it is. Well, we don't need this. Delete it. Delete. Okay. Let's select it. Let's go to Custom. I'm not sure this is going to work. Okay, we'll just... Alright, it did. Let's center it. Okay, it is centered. We want it... Let's go to Properties. What we want to do is we want to add a drop zone right here. Way too big, so we got to scale it down. I want to scale it to fit that screen. Yeah, we can move it up. We can move it around, but we can't screw with the edges or try to bring it in or anything like that, because it'll mess us up big time. All right, now that we've got that, what we want to do is we want to kind of link these two. And we do that with behaviors, basic motion, and align to. And I want to drop this in here. Now with the offset, I'm just going to move my mouse over here and scroll it up, up, up. Okay, let's go back to our drop zone. With rotation and position, alignment's fine, but it doesn't work with scaling. So we're going to have to use a parameter, or we'll add a parameter behavior, and the name of that parameter behavior is link. And we want to link it to our edited iMac. Okay, now here in length, there's a scale in length that we need to use to scale it back down. Whoa, it's not easy. We're almost there. Oop. Oh, that's good right there. Lucked out. Okay, let's go here and test it out. That's working. That's working. That's working. Let's see if scale works. Oh, yes. Let's go ahead and reset everything. All right, I want to bring in a picture which is included with the downloads, which you're welcome to use. It's just a 3D zone project picture. Oop. I want to drag it over there. And for now, that's it. We'll get back and we'll go ahead and configure everything, put in the rig and all that, blah, blah, blah. And we'll make this thing very nice to use in Final Cut Pro. Okay, before I start, I want to make sure that my scale is set to 100% and that I am in the center. Okay, I am. Cool. All right, what I want to do is add some parameters to a rig we're going to build. And I'm going to add position X, Y, and Z. On the align to, I'm going to add offset X and Y. And on link to the Mac, I'm going to add offset X and offset Y. All right, let's start by adding a rig. We'll go to this little plus sign on add object and go ahead and add a rig. I'm going to name this rig iMac rig. Let's start building up this rig. Let's go back to the Mac. Let's go ahead and down arrow on Z rotation, add to rig, add to iMac rig, and add a slider. All right, Z rotation slider. Let's go back to the Mac. You'll notice this little icon here. That's telling me that we are in the rig. I'm going to go ahead and add Y and X to the rig, and I'll be right back. All right, we've got X, Y, and Z rotation sliders set up in our rig. Let's go to Align to Mac, and we want to set up these as position sliders. We're going to do Y first, add to rig, iMac rig, add new slider. Okay, we've got Y position. Let's go back to this, and I'll go ahead and add X, and I'll be right back. Okay, next we want to add link to Mac. And these are position sliders. Excuse me, these are scale sliders. So we'll go ahead and add Y, add to rig, iMac rig, new slider. Okay, we got Y scale slider. Let's go back to link to Mac, and I'll go ahead and add this in. Okay, our rig has all our parameters in it. Let's go ahead and configure the first one, X scale slider, which is this one. We need to be on a little blue ball at the very beginning. It needs to be lit up. We need to hit start. There it is, start. And let's move this out till it's touching the edges. And let's click on the little blue ball here, hit start again, and bring it a little bit, end it. Let's go ahead and set it back where it's supposed to be. All right, let's go to Y scale, and I'll go ahead and enter that and be right back. Okay, Y scale slider is configured. Let's go to X position slider, and we're at the beginning. Click on start, and we want to move it all the way to the edge. Okay. Stop. Little blue ball here. Start. We want to move it to the other edge. And stop. Go ahead and recenter it. And we want to go to Y position. I'll go ahead and configure that, and I'll be right back. Okay, Y position slider is correct. Let's go to X rotation slider and hit start. And go ahead, little 0, and sweep it out. Don't go too far because it'll bleed through. But right there looks good. Stop. Let's go to our blue bubble. Start. Click on start. And go the other way. Come on. Don't go too far. Okay, that looks good. Stop. Center it. I think if you just type in 50, it'll automatically center it. It did. Alright, let's go to Y. I'm going to go ahead and configure Z and Y. I'll be right back. Okay, all of our parameters are configured. Before I continue on to publish this, I want to add 4 spacers. Now, a pop-up, we can make a spacer out of a pop-up. So you're an iMac rig, click on pop-up, and you'll notice that there's 3 snapshots there. We want to get rid of all of them. So this little minus sign, just click it. Now the last one, to get rid of that, you have to rename it and just hit delete. And pop-up now becomes 3 dashes. That's the name, 3 dashes. All right, I'll go ahead and put the other 3 in, and I'll be right back. Okay, our iMac rig is complete. Everything's good to go for publishing. Let's go up to our drop zone project, go into project. These are all our published parameters. Let's unpublish this. Unpublish this. Okay, what I want to do is put a spacer under this, which is this spacer here, first one. Click on here, publish it, and check it out. There it is. Let's go ahead and publish this. X scale slider. Publish. Y scale. Publish. And check it out. And there it is. I'll finish this up and I'll be right back. Now you see what's going on. It's pretty easy. Okay, here's what our published parameters will look like, and this is what it'll basically look like when we go ahead and export it to Final Cut Pro, and that'll be coming up here in a moment. Anyway, I'll see you in a minute. We'll go ahead and convert this to a generator and go ahead and apply it in Final Cut Pro. Well, I almost forgot. We need 2 more parameters. We're going to go to drop zone, properties, publish opacity. Want to go to our iMac, scale, publish that. Okay, so now when we look at it, go to project here, this is what it should look like. Okay, I'll be right back and we'll go ahead and convert this and then export it to Final Cut Pro. Okay, we're ready to export to Final Cut Pro. Let's collapse this. Quick tip before we export. Whenever we use a drop zone, Motion automatically will call it drop zone, and that's what'll appear. Let me show you. Let's bring this up, and it'll look like this. Just say drop zone. Whereas if we wanted it to say something else like iMac drop zone, we'll have to follow this procedure. First thing we'll need to do to rename our drop zone is to go ahead and unpublish this. Just unpublish it. And go ahead and rename drop zone. And I'm going to call it iMac drop zone. Okay, now that it's renamed, we need to republish this. And it'll put it on the bottom. So we need to move it back up to the top and then save it. Okay, now we're ready to start exporting, but first we must convert this project to what's called a generator. Okay, it is now a generator. Next step is to go ahead and go back up to File, click on Save As, and I'm going to save a preview, and it's going where I want it to go. So I'll call it iMac drop zone. Okay, it's named. Let's go ahead and publish. I'll replace it. It is published. Okay, now that it's published, let's go ahead and go into Final Cut. Let's go over to Titles and Generators. And there it is right there. Let's just Q on the keyboard. Let's go ahead and expand this. Yep, here's all our parameters looking nice and neat. And yep, it is named iMac drop zone. Let's go back over here. Click on this. And let's drop something into it. And I choose to drop that into it. Just click at the beginning, apply the clip. All right, let's see if it'll play. Yep, it does play. Let's check out some of these parameters. Let's start with scale. Oh yeah, scale works. Let's try opacity. That works. Z rotation, that works. That works. Cool. So far, so good. That works. Let's reset these parameters. They'll go back to 50. That's where it was when we exported it. And reset this one. Okay, that's looking good. Let's change our scale. Let's reset that one. It goes to 100%. And we can also adjust these, adjust this, and this. Okay, just to show you, we can actually move this around. If we went into here and hit this little icon here, well, I had to actually stop it. But anyway, if we hit this, we'll get this, and we can actually use this scale here to scale it in and out. We can move it around, put it anywhere we want. When we're done, just click on done. Okay, let's go back here. Let's go ahead and start this back up. And you can see we've got a smaller new location. And we can do whatever we want. Alright, well that's about it for this. I hope you enjoyed this lesson learning how-to video. I know I did. And I'll see you next time.